Sydney Swans fans have turned out in the thousands in support of Adam Goodes in last night's match against Adelaide. Sunrise reporter Sean White is at the SCG for us this morning. Sean, do you think it's convinced him to return?
Oh, well, Talitha, no word yet, but from what we saw last night, his presence, Adam Goodes, is required back at the Swans immediately. You know, the tone was really set at the start of the game. We saw the players run out and pass that banner, you know, reading the word respect, and from there we saw Aboriginal flags, you know, sort of waving in the crowd, and also the fans out in full force, you know, wearing their Guernseys and the number 37, a tribute to Goodes. A real highlight when Lewis Jetta, you know, dedicated that first goal to Adam Goodes with the war dance, and from there a really special moment. I've got to say, even I had chills sort of in the third quarter, the 7th minute. The entire crowd stood up and applauded Goodes for an entire minute. No word yet from Goodes, as we said, and the Swans coach said there's no pressure for him to return, but you've got to say it was an inspiring win from the Swans. You know, they took out the Adelaide Crows by 52 points, keeps him in the race for the top four, and who knows if Goodes returns what level they'll rise to. But one thing's for sure from what we saw last night here at the SCG, there is a lot of love for Adam Goodes.
It was a lovely turnout. A full wrap of the story in sport. Thanks, Sean. A piece of plane wing suspected to be part of missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 has arrived at a French laboratory for examination. For more, we're joined by 7 News reporter Ben Lewis at Toulouse and aviation editor of the West Australian newspaper Geoffrey Thomas. Ben, first to you, when will the examination begin?
Talitha, good morning. The actual physical examination of the debris won't actually start until Wednesday at the earliest, despite the fact that it's now safe and sound in a hangar on this military laboratory site about 100 metres or so behind me. It was brought down here from Paris this afternoon as part of a huge police convoy, officers on motorcycles and in cars surrounding it, before it was brought inside and put inside that hangar. We did not get a glimpse of the actual crate that it was carried in. It was all done under high security, as you would imagine. It does seem that legal protocol and process is slowing down the investigation process somewhat. That should be cleared up with a meeting between French investigators and their Malaysian counterparts in Paris on Monday. They'll then come down here to Toulouse and begin that physical examination on Wednesday. And Talitha, the French prosecutor's office, which is overseeing this process, says it won't give a running timeline or commentary on what's going on, but they are hoping that a preliminary report could be issued within the week.
OK. Jeff, how will investigators identify if the flaperon is from MH370?
Good morning, Talitha. Well, look, normally it would be a simple process. There's a little metal tag which is adhered to the flaperon, which identifies it as belonging to a particular airline. However, 15 months in the Indian Ocean, that has come adrift, and now they have to sort of probably cut into the flaperon to look for other serial numbers, batch numbers from which this particular flaperon was made, and then link it then to possibly MH370. But that shouldn't take very long once they start the process. OK, thanks, Geoffrey. Thanks, Ben. We'll speak to you soon. Embattled Speaker Bronwyn Bishop has cancelled her next taxpayer-funded trip amid the ongoing travel expenses saga. Ms Bishop had been planning to travel to New York at the end of August for an international summit of parliamentary speakers. Under current rules, speakers are allowed 5 overseas trips per year. This would have been Bronwyn Bishop's third for 2015. The Department of Finance is reviewing all of Ms Bishop's expenses, but the Prime Minister is standing by her. Queenslanders are being warned they may experience more earthquakes following a 5.7 magnitude quake near the Sunshine Coast. Sunrise correspondent Trent Evans is at Alexandra Headlands Beach. Good morning to you, Trent. Have any aftershocks been reported?
Yeah, we've had 2 actually in the 90 minutes since yesterday's quake. They were recorded at 5.2 and 3.1, but yesterday's quake hit about 20 to 2 yesterday afternoon, and that recorded at 5.7. It was 110 kilometres east off Fraser Island with a depth of 10 kilometres. It's very similar in size, but a tad bigger than one that we had here on Thursday, which recorded a reading of 5.3. We've had no reports of any major damage major injuries from these quakes, but to put them in perspective, they had the potential to be quite messy. They're around the same size as the one that hit Newcastle in 1989, which was, of course, the most damaging in Australia's history. Now, experts are saying that Thursday's quake was a foreshock for one that we heard yesterday and felt yesterday here. We just don't know whether yesterday's one is a foreshock for another one that could be on the way.
OK, thanks, Trent. Looks like a beautiful day in Queensland there. Speak to you soon. Well, spectators have filmed the terrifying moment a plane plummeted out of the sky at a car festival in the UK. The pilot of the plane was killed when the plane nosedived shortly after performing aerobatics with another aircraft. Crash investigators are seeking to determine what happened.
Oh my God, Dad, call.
Cecil the lion's brother Jericho has reportedly been killed by an illegal hunter in a national park in Zimbabwe. Jericho had only just taken to protecting his dead brother's cubs from other lions in the pride. Cecil's death sparked international outrage, with Zimbabwe asking the US to extradite the man responsible. Walter Palmer admits to killing the famous lion on July 1st, but denies knowing he was protected. 2 local guides have been charged. Russia is holding an international army games competition. The games, dubbed the world's first military Olympics, features 12 events involving the ground, marine and air forces. They opened with performances depicting Russia's military development through history, and 6 fighter jets performed impressive aerobatic manoeuvres. 57 teams from 17 countries are expected to compete in the contest over 10 days.
Suzuki's 2015 plate clearance is on. Get Swift GL manual from $14,990 drive away and auto from just $16,490 drive away. Plus the all-new Vitara is here from $22,990 drive away. See your Suzuki dealer today.
The Sydney Swans have turned in a dominant performance in the absence of Adam Goodes with a 52-point victory over Adelaide. The script really couldn't have been written any better, with Lewis Jetta kicking the opening goal and celebrating his heritage. Kurt Tippett kicked his first major against his former club. He booted 3, as did Lance Franklin, who fought off a back injury. Tom Lynch, meanwhile, starred for the Gold Coast Suns, who claimed a thrilling draw with West Coast. The stand-in skipper kicked 4 goals, including this one to square it up in the dying seconds. Bang, in you go. And Todd Goldstein and Jack Zeeble were hot for the Kangaroos, who blitzed the struggling Blues by 64 points. Manly has responded to a tumultuous week in the ultimate fashion, shocking competition leaders Brisbane 44-14, just days after coach Jeff Tuvey was told to move on. Jamie Lyon was unstoppable, scoring once and having a hand in a number of other tries. The win keeps the Seagulls' slim finals chances alive. Meanwhile, the NRL comeback Kings have done it again, trailing 18-0. The Cowboys put on 32 unanswered points to eventually beat the Canberra Raiders 32 points to 24. The Australian swim team is in Kazan, Russia for the FINA World Swimming Championships, and Seven's Nathan Templeton is there. And there's a few Aussies in particular to keep our eyes on.
Good morning, Ryan. Well, perhaps the most remarkable story of these World Swimming Championships is the comeback of Dan Smith. Just over 2 years ago, he was homeless, he was a drug addict and in trouble with the police, but with a lot of help and inspiration from his training partner, Grant Hackett, he's fought his way back onto the Australian team, and he will compete alongside Hackett in the men's 4x200 metre relay team, and the Aussies are one of the top fancies to win gold here in Kazan. The competition here begins later today. The Aussies have 2 great chances to make a golden start. Our women's 4x100 relay team are red-hot favourites, while Melbourne teenager Mac Horton is ranked #1 in the world in the 400 freestyle. All the action starts at 4:30 Eastern Time, live and free on 7/2. Can't wait, Ryan.
Nathan Templeton, we can't wait for it either. It's going to be terrific to see the Aussies in action. Just as you're curling up in your doona, feeling a bit chilly, James is going to make us all jealous this morning. He's up there in beautiful Queensland.
Mate, North Burleigh this morning, it is an absolutely cracking day. It's all happening up here. I'll tell you what, August started with a bang, literally. That earthquake yesterday, first time I've experienced an earthquake, and plenty of people in southeast Queensland felt the same thing just after 1:30. A bit freaky, especially if you're 11 stories up. I sort of all of a sudden thought, oh, please, may the building not fall. I think I was overreacting completely, but you don't know what happens when an earthquake hits. So a bit of a strange experience, but today, something much more pleasant. We're at the Barbecue Championships. It doesn't get more Australian than being at North Burleigh at the Barbecue Championships. These guys and girls have been cooking meat for 8 hours now. It's all about slow cooking. So this morning, my tummy is already rumbling. Checking in with the weather around the rest of the country now. Let's go to the maps.
Weekend sunrise weather brought to you by Inner Health Immune Booster. Because there's better things to do than be sick.
A trough and weakening rain band is situated mainly over New South Wales today, bringing a few isolated showers. Isolated showers are set to continue in Victoria, South Australia and Tasmania as well. And there's a high pressure system that's bringing beautiful sunshine to WA. Brisbane in for a stunning sunny 26 today. Sydney could get a little cloudy. It's beautiful this morning with a top of 24. Showers for Canberra, a top of 13. Melbourne late showers this afternoon, 14 degrees. In Hobart, showers and 10. Adelaide, a few showers and 14. Sunshine and 17 degrees in Perth. And Darwin, well, always beautiful. Sunny and 32 degrees. It is smoky, it is flavoursome, it is beef and chicken and lamb, and it is going to be delicious this morning here at North Burleigh.
Oh, JT, stop it, will you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
We haven't had our cold
salmon roe
cereal
muesli yet.
Yeah. Thank you.